What's going on, guys, and welcome to episode 5 of the Raptor Attack Podcast. I am one of your hosts, James Parsons, and today I'm joined by Matt Marr, Ant Green,
good day,
Sam Busher, and Matt Crandon.
Why was last?
We've got 4 more gaming and geek topics to talk about today, and we're going to talk about until we've got no words left. If you like what you see, you can find us at twitch.tv/Raptor Attack UK, Twitter at the Raptor Attack, YouTube where you are right now, and on Facebook, and you can fill in for Paul.
Get off Facebook and get to YouTube.
That's right. Get yourself onto YouTube where you can like, subscribe, comment and share. Topic number 1 today is brought to you by Ant Green.
Right, one thing I want to talk about, because I use this conversation a lot to basically just talk about my endless obsession with zombies. So zombies in games, zombies in films, zombies in books. In particular, what I want to talk about is, are they overdone? Is a zombie something that we see too much of in mainstream media, so in games and in films? I have quite a varied view on this, so I'd like to hear your guys' take on it, your experience with zombies in games and films, and whether you think it is becoming a saturated market or something that can still be explored.
The film Let's Be Cops actually made a joke about this. Like, it was...
It's a great movie.
Yeah, it's a brilliant movie. But the guy works as a game developer, and he... no spoilers, whoever... It's a shit film, just go and watch it.
It's not shit, it's awesome.
It's shit, but amazing.
Yeah.
And he goes and pitches his idea to his boss, and he's like, "No, this is terrible. Right, what's cool? Zombies." it's like they've clearly made several games about zombies, and we don't want to be cops, we want to be firemen versus zombies. It's like, just like, you can tell that's the thought process that goes through a lot of zombie game developers' minds. Yeah. But what's cool? Zombies. And I disagree. I don't like zombie games. I mean, you can enjoy them, but there's definitely not something I can play over and over again.
Yeah.
Zombie movies. I'm happy with zombie movies. I disagree with fast zombies. I don't like fast zombies.
Fast zombies are the worst.
It's
silly.
Do not get on.
No, we're not buddies, us guys.
I think the problem with fast zombies is that you have these zombie survival books that you can buy and test, would you survive in a zombie apocalypse? And I think there's a few people out there that are quite confident that if you go into a zombie apocalypse, I would survive. Unless there's fast zombies, then everybody's fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't even lie to yourself. If it is Left 4 Dead zombies, like, no one's got a chance. It's not happening. You are not going to survive that apocalypse.
The 28 days later zombies.
Yeah.
Like,
They ain't zombies.
No, they're not zombies.
Rage
They are
victims.
rage victims. That's it.
Don't get that confused.
the I Am Legend zombies are terrifying because they can fucking leap, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
leapy
he has a fortress of a house and they are leaping halfway up this fucking building.
They're not actually zombies, though. If you read the book, they're vampires. Well, they're more vampire-esque, so they're indoors in the daylight. They only come out at night. In the books, they actually speak. They know who he is. They know where he lives. So they're not. They're outside his house every day, like banging on the windows. And there's like women that are naked trying to lure him out and all the stuff like this. They kind of change it a bit for the film.
Do you think that's part of the zombie saturation then, that they're looking, what's called zombies? It's been done. Can't come out in the day. Brilliant.
They're zombie
That's what I mean. Like, there's, like
zombie
the
fighters.
producers of this film must have, like, going back to the Cops game developer thing. The producers of this film would have gone, right. The book says vampires. Vampires aren't cool anymore. Twilight happened. Like, I think Twilight might have come afterwards. I don't know. We're not talking chronologically. Vampires aren't cool.
Just coming, I can sense it. We're not doing vampires.
Let's not do vampires. Zombies. But we're going to keep some vampire elements in there. It's just like... It's almost like a sellout.
When he wrote I Am Legend, if he could look into the future, he should have gone, they're vampires and Will Smith's a teenager. That's going to sell. That's going to sell. He's a vampire at some point.
He's in love with another vampire that's outside and trying to get to him, who's like in touch with her emotions.
It just needed Uncle Phil in it, and then it would have been fine.
But yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of the Walking Dead series, and I've started reading a lot more than I used to. And the one thing I constantly revisit the apocalypse genre. I read a lot of zombie books, nuclear war, and these things. And zombies, I'm always attracted to, but in my experience, it's not necessarily overdone. There is a lot of them. I think the problem with zombie movies is the reason it's becoming saturated is amateur filmmakers and indie game developers. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but everyone that seems to get into filmmaking at some point goes, I'm going to make a zombie movie with these zombie effects, and every now and again one of them will break through to the mainstream. But if you actually look at the high quality zombie movies that are out there, or the high quality zombie TV series. Like, name them. Like, they don't exist. Like, Walking Dead, which is a fantastic series because it's based on a comic book, and then the other films.
Resident Evil, maybe.
No,
But is
let's
Resident
not
Evil a
put
good
those
film?
in there at all.
I quite like
If you're
them.
looking at high quality zombie movies that have been made, they're all the remakes of the Romero films.
Yeah, they are remakes. Yeah,
And I'm, in my opinion, I mean, I've been a zombie fan for a long time. I don't think they're ever going to be too much.
Yeah.
But when you think about where zombies came from originally, that's where it started in the 60s with those Romero films. Like, that was the start. But, like, then those films were too much for that time, and I think a lot of those films sort of got pushed to the side, put on the back shelf, when nobody was really bothered about them. I remember when we were like something like 15, went on a bike ride to a car boot sale to try and find zombie flesh eaters because it was banned.
Yeah,
You couldn't get it anywhere. Because there's that scene where he's pulling the woman's head onto the stake at the door, and it pops her eye out, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's crazy, it's banned."
Yeah.
And now, as everybody's become desensitised to all that sort of stuff, everybody's just
getting a bit more
like, "Oh, let's go back, let's do that again, and let's make it good for modern audiences."
I think one of the huge flaws of the zombie genre, you could say, is they visit it for the wrong reasons. And this is the one thing Walking Dead does well. Walking Dead, it's all about the morality. It's all about what this apocalypse does to the survivors. The zombies are there in essence as an extra for the environment.
like an obstacle.
Yeah, exactly. That forces these characters to develop where they wouldn't do in a normal civilised society. Whereas other games and films go, how can we bring zombies in? How can we make it gory? How can we make it cool?
Yeah.
Whereas The Walking Dead, does everybody here watch Walking Dead?
Yes.
I have watched it.
Okay.
No, but I have no interest in watching it, so
Walking,
you can spoil all you want.
Walking Dead, I find it Tarantino-esque in its violence. Now I'm not talking about Kill Bill. I'm talking about Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
It's violence for the sake of the plot. So
Yeah.
Walking Dead is gory. There are some scenes, there are some shots where it pushes it, but it's there for a reason. It's not in your face. It's not every single episode. It's not every 5 minutes, and it's what the comic books do. And I think that's why it's done so well, because it was inspired and created from the comic books, where it is all about the morality of these characters and the character arcs that they go through. And I think that is something that most games or films don't capture. And I think some zombie games are getting there because they're beginning to realise. I think Left 4 Dead, it's a good co-op run and gun, but as a game you can get involved in, it's difficult because there's no way for you to represent that character progression. Yeah,
It's not like a story.
My only, I want to say a positive zombie experience, because can you have one of them if you meet a zombie? It's not positive. It's probably Dying Light.
That was a great game.
It was
I
a
really
really good
enjoyed
game,
that.
very underrated. Have you played that one?
I haven't played it yet.
It's definitely worth a play.
If you like zombies, it's on the list.
It did what Dead Island didn't do.
Yeah, exactly. It was actually there was part of the development team for Dead Island split off and made Dying Light and actually improved it and made it less of a funny game, a bit more serious. They sort of added it was like Mirror's Edge movement. Wasn't it? It was jumping with the shoulder buttons instead. And if you played Mirror's Edge, that works after a while.
Took a little bit getting used to.
Yeah.
But then you've got the face buttons
natural.
left for everything else that you need to do. For me, in TV and film now, zombies, like you said, they're as part of the environment. It's like, okay, we've got this group of characters. How do we create some artificial tension? Zombies. There's no, you don't need them. Like they're driving the story. There's a story on its own, and then the zombies push that story forward. When they're put in there for the sake of it, I'm not a big fan. I'll be honest, zombies aren't my cup of tea. If Powell was here, he'd mention The Last of Us.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Was going to be
Again, they're not zombies. It's just another way to bring that kind of zombie face. Exactly. Yeah, it's all clickers and
drones, not zombies.
Well, it's exactly that. It's the same principle. They could be zombies. They could be there from this fungus. They could be bloody vampires or whatever. But it's not going to change the development of the characters and the story they're telling, which I think is a fundamental problem with a lot of them. Like, what is it, zombie Nazis or something like that? If anyone's seen
zombies,
Nazi zombies, and it's the one in a cabin, and it is your cliche like teen horror film where a bunch of mates are going to stay in a cabin. Dead Snow, that's the one.
Dead Snow is a great movie.
It's a good movie, yeah. It is. I think because they made a second one now, haven't they?
Have they really?
I think that's a prime example of that. Let's just make another film because zombies works, and so I haven't seen it.
The Dead Snow though, I thought was really good. Isn't it a Norwegian film or something like that?
No, it's German.
Is it German?
Yeah,
I thought it was Norwegian.
I liked it because it was it was very B movie.
Yeah. It wasn't. It didn't take itself seriously.
No, there was a lot of nods to like Evil Dead and like other zombie films. I think that's what worked with that film. I think if you're going to do a film like that, you can't take itself too seriously. Otherwise, it's just going to be a joke. Like Outpost, I wasn't a big fan of Outpost.
Yeah.
Or with Ray Stevenson, that was kind of. It was almost like that was doing what Dead Snow was trying to do, but
failed.
too seriously.
Yeah.
Too much like. I don't know. Just
I would
lost
like
the
to
point.
see something with zombies that doesn't make the zombies a faceless, personalityless antagonist.
Well, if you want something like that, if you can stand £40 budget movies, Colin. Yeah, Colin was a movie that was made by a London media student.
I'm sure I've heard of this.
My missus bought it me for Christmas one year because she always used to buy me crap DVDs, and we watched it, and it's difficult to watch in terms of it's low budget and it's there's no special effects, but basically it follows the story of Colin, who is a zombie in the zombie apocalypse, and the camera just follows him around. So there's not a lot of dialogue in the film, but you basically he's got essentially a GoPro on him, and he's like walking around and I'm going to this place that I used to visit, and I'm going to. This is where
that's pretty cool,
and it's a really cool concept.
Yeah,
and he runs into little groups of survivors. They're all you just see them from his point of view trying to deal with things in their way. But it was ultimately a forgettable movie. But it's a good concept. But it's a good concept, and that was nice for that. Like what you're saying there,
refreshing.
See it from a different point of view.
Yeah, it was refreshing,
which was good.
See things from the zombies' point of view.
A great zombie film. Has anyone seen Wreck?
Nope.
Yes.
It's filmed like
a Spanish one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a Spanish film. It's filmed like a documentary, so it's all one camera. And it's based in an apartment that's locked down. There's been an attack, so the fire services turn up, and it's entirely based in this huge. It's an apartment.
It's an apartment block, yeah.
And someone's filming with a camera. It's a very, very good film, and I think it's doing the zombie genre well. If you're going to make a zombie horror film, that's how you do it. And I think the problem with most is they all follow the same template. I haven't played Dying Light yet, which is ironic because when Dead Island got announced, it's one of the best trailers, one of the best trailers that ever came out. I was so excited for this game, and I wanted it to be impossible.
And of course, you being a Borderlands fan as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted the game to be difficult. I wanted to have to be on co-op and work together as a team. But it got to a point where you could just run around aimlessly with a paddle or a lightning machete chopping people's heads off. And it became a run and gun gimmick. It didn't become a survival game, and I think that's important.
There's a lot of games at the moment, especially for PC, which are zombie survival. There's so many.
Yeah, the survival genre is taken up.
Yeah, the survival genre seems to have gone big. But going back
because of Minecraft, actually,
I suppose so.
Because that is with creepers and
they're all very sandbox based, and you always start off with an axe and some flint and tinder or something like that, and you have to go and build yourself a house.
All right,
Swipe right.
Find local attractive survivors in your area.
You're just hoping you get a map so you can say help.
But yeah, there's so many. Is it H1Z1, and there's Rust, and there's just loads. And then you can I think the genre is just too big now. There's too many.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure there was a mod for Armour as well, which was
Armour 3, wasn't it? It was. That's the most popular.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head though.
Daisy,
that's it. Yeah.
Getting zombies in everywhere now.
Yeah, there's just so many, and I think it started not started, but I think it sort of exploded when there was Nazi zombies for COD.
Yeah.
And people just played that to death, and people thought, we can make a game out of this. This will work, and just remade the same thing over and over again.
When DayZ came out, people went crazy for it, and then I've heard of H1Z1, and I've seen people do Let's Plays.
Yeah.
And then now, if someone said, I'm making this zombie survival game, I'm like, again?
Another one.
Yeah, another one.
Yeah. If you go back to an old one, Dead Rising.
Oh yeah, that's a good game.
The first one was a great game, and literally all I want to do is be in a supermarket with a shopping trolley or a lawnmower or something, just mow down.
Putting Lego heads on zombies and drop kicking them.
And then I played, is it number 2 that had Zombrex? and it was
Yes.
it's
Because they had like a
medication
little
that stops
prequel,
you.
didn't they? And then like the little hour-long
remember.
prequel, and then the actual game.
And I actually found that really disappointing because I was picking up Dead Rising because I wanted to mow down zombies and I didn't want to have to go, it's 6 o'clock, better go home and give my daughter a medication.
Yeah.
She's going to turn into a zombie. Yeah, I didn't need that emotional attachment. I just wanted to go, I've got a stick and 2 chainsaws and I've attached them together.
Yeah.
And now I'm Darth Maul in the zombie world.
Dead Rising for me was that game. Like, that's why I didn't buy it, because I'd wanted it to go and hack and slash, but then I thought, well, I'll get bored of this after about an hour.
I think
That's why I didn't buy
I
it.
quite liked it because it was like one of the first zombie games which gave that new element of options, where like you had
Yeah.
like a time limit on the period that you could play,
Yeah.
but you could end the game with the proper ending, or you could just not do the missions and do whatever you wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I think the only real zombie game that came close to it before was Resident Evil,
Yeah.
which was kind of like, it was very kind of linear really,
Yeah.
which at the time was really good. But this kind of opened everything up, and you could pick up whatever you wanted, and you could do that, and you could.
The reason why I enjoyed it so much, I don't know if you remember, probably PS1 was it State of Emergency? And you've got maybe 3 characters, and it's just a riot in a shopping mall. And you're one of the bad guys, technically. And you're just mowing down everyone. And that was great. Like, you go into the shops picking stuff up, and then they went, we can do that with zombies.
Like what they do with every game.
Exactly.
You'll have, like, you got Sims and stuff.
Yeah.
We can do that with zombies. Sim Zombie.
They haven't done that yet.
They haven't done that. There you go.
They do.
There you go, EA. Have that one.
This is date stamped. You can't
We'll get the patent sorted later this evening.
There's no comeback with zombies. There's no like with actual people. It's like, well, you can kill a zombie, you can smash a shopping trolley through his head. It doesn't matter. But when you got women and kids, that's where the lines are drawn. So
it's when they become zombies.
That's when you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So that's why people throw them in there.
You'll never play Grand Theft Auto with children in it.
True.
You not a fan of zombies then?
No, not really.
Cool.
Well,
There was a mobile game, and I wish they would have expanded it onto console or onto PC. And I can't remember for the life of me what it's called. I've only just thought of it when you were talking about the whole hack and slash thing, because that's the part I do enjoy, when zombies are slow and weak, and you're just having fun killing the shit out of them.
Warriors. Dynasty Warriors zombies, that'd be the best game ever. They can't fight back.
Right. No, it's good, like, because eventually you will get overwhelmed, but for a long while you're there. But this game, it was like top down, and your character had a little cube head, and you had a gun, and you moved your thumb round where you wanted to shoot, and you shot, and they
the Call of Mini or something.
Maybe, I don't know, but
No, little block.
all little block things, and the zombies would come in from each side, and you'd have to just spin around. It's almost like an arcade game, and you'd spin around shooting them.
Yeah, I remember.
And you'd see them all just,
It's
just
almost
die.
like zombie asteroids.
But that's the most fun I've had in a zombie game. Like, because it's the same with Nazi zombies on Call of Duty. Like, it's the same concept.
Yeah.
It's just you can't enjoy it as much if you're not so great at getting headshots with this World War II single shot rifle. You know what I mean? Like, it's got its enjoyability, but like, I think it's such a simple concept. It needs to be a simple game for me.
yeah.
Like, fuck, zombies overrunning you. Like, you
That's
need to be able to
essentially
kill
all,
loads at the same time. You know
Do
what I mean?
you have an Xbox 360?
I can get.
If you go on the store and download it, it's an arcade game, and it's called I Made a Game with Zombies in
Such a
It.
good game.
A guy made it on his own, and it's exactly what you've just described. It's a top-down view. You can play 4-player if you want, run around and get pickups.
You see,
and
that's
get
great.
I think I've played that as well.
Have a few drinks.
The soundtrack is the guy that made it singing, and the lyrics to the song are I made a game with zombies in it.
Yeah.
Zombies in it. Zombies in it. And it's literally, I made a game with zombies in it. It's literally just the most
It's like
ridiculous.
flashing lights.
Yeah. Words are flashing, it's mental.
If you like that kind of top-down stuff, it's not. I think it's top-down anyway. But if you got Steam, Zombies Ate My Neighbours is another good game.
I've got it on Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
To the original.
Yeah, same one.
It is the best zombie game that has ever been made.
It's pretty good, man. But that's essentially the same thing, except you got more freedom to run around in an area. But as you kill more zombies, there's more that spawn, and it's eventually you just go over.
Yeah.
But like the weapons you can get are like flamethrower
I've got
so you can check up.
I might be thinking of a different game because the one I'm thinking of, you start with a water pistol and you play as a brother and sister.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
He's got
Zombies. That's Zombies Ain't My Neighbour, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then,
Maybe I'm thinking of a different game.
Yeah, Zombies Ate My Neighbours is a Super Nintendo.
I'm sure I've got it on Steam. We're going to play in a bit.
Game.
I've got two more games I want to talk about on the zombie genre.
I got one more. I got one more as well.
I played that one. That was 360 now Xbox One. Get it. It's also on Steam. Get it.
that the big open worldy one?
It was sort of, yeah.
Okay.
The game started with the best thing about it was there isn't a main character. Like, you have to recruit people, and if your character dies, you're now one of the other ones, or you can switch between them. You have to make sure they're sleeping and not coming out and taking the right characters out. You set up a base. Like, you can find a farm and build it on the farm.
MMO like Rust or something?
No, it's completely single player. I was actually disappointed with the fact that it was single player.
If they could make it 3 or 4 player co-op, but I think the problem, as you said earlier, the world is so saturated with these huge MMO games now.
I wanted local multiplayer. Or,
yeah,
I mean, like, I just wanted
it's
to
a
play
shame there's no local multiplayer, but they'll have a look.
Couch multiplayer. Needs to get back on.
And also the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was one of these, like, you find a car and it's only got so much fuel left, but if you drive it, then the zombies in the area will hear you, and there's like hordes of them moving through the town.
Yeah.
And there's, like you said, there's different versions of zombies. Like, there's ones that just scream when they see you and it alerts all the other ones.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. That was a great game, and the fact that it was resource management as well, so you'd have to go into buildings and like get any metal scraps they've got.
Yeah. And
while the game's off, it's still doing these things. You're using them,
Yeah.
so it makes you need to come back. I didn't like that side of it.
Yeah.
The other one that I had to mention was, it's actually, I know I talk about VR every week, so I just want to make sure it's there. There's a game called Zombie Taxi Driver, and you are.
Somebody did it again.
Driver.
Somebody played driver.
Taxi.
We get zombies into this, but it actually looks incredible.
Yeah.
Like, it's a bit of fun, but you are the taxi driver and you're driving around
Crazy
zombie
taxi.
families.
It's Crazy Taxi with zombies.
Yeah, essentially.
I hope it has the same track. Just offspring of playing running over zombies.
I'll find some screenshots. I'll make it the thumbnail for this video so people know what the hell I'm talking about.
The last one I will mention, I downloaded it a little while back on Steam Early Access, is Project Zomboid. And I might have mentioned it before.
You told me to get this.
It's still being developed. I've re-downloaded it yesterday because I'm going to test it out on my Steam link. And it was such a good game. It consumed my life. It started off as quite a small indie game, and it's a top-down isometric grip view, so similar to the older like Baldur's Gate experiences. But the tagline to the game is "How will you die?" It fully embraces you are going to die in this world. How long can you survive? And I think I played it for 3 days, and I'd survived for 2 or 3 days, and it is so hard. Then they started adding co-op, then online multiplayer, and it's still got your crafting and your building experiences like Minecraft, so you can build walls and build a base and build houses. But to get that far is so difficult, and the actual adrenaline when you first play, and so you go around and you can break into buildings, whether you smash the window, but when you open a front door and then you go in and then the alarm goes off, the panic, because you never sprint in this game because zombies can hear you, and you are blindly running, and then you run into a herd, and then you're like, I've been playing on this for 8 hours, character dies, start again, there's no save points, it is, aside from when you turn it off and then load it back up and you carry on with that character, as soon as you die, that character's gone.
It was like quick saves.
I'm pretty sure.
If you load it, the previous one's deleted.
Yeah, it is. It's a great game. I'm assuming, as it's early access, it's still not that expensive.
It'll be in the Steam store.
People are modding for it already. The maps are fantastic.
I'm pretty sure Rust is similar to that, whereas if you die, you basically just lose everything you got and you restart again with your fucking axe.
Have they kept it in there that when you turn it off, your character's still there, just standing there? Fix that there.
I don't know.
Are they planning on
I haven't played it since.
I don't think messed up. That game is just. It just shows you what people are like possible that people can do, like how bad people are.
Yeah.
It's all the bad people in society just come together and play this game and just mess you up the entire time. Did you have one more game?
Yes. I like this game a lot. And it is a zombie. Well, technically, is it a zombie game, or is it kind of like a bit of an experiment game where they've experimented on a load of people and they've turned into different things? But it's Killing Floor on PC.
Yeah. First person shooter.
Yeah, it's a first person shooter, and I don't really like first person shooters because I'm not very good at them. So I don't like them. But I found that really good. It's made by a British indie company, I think. And they use the Unreal Engine, so it's nice and smooth and fluid. And it's like Horde from Gears of War, essentially. So you have like 10 rounds, and each round gets harder. and at the end you fight a boss. And in that, there's different things. There's like certain zombies that if they get to you, they're really weak, but if they get to you, they hold on to you, so you can't move until you kill them. There's other ones that have got like swords as arms. So they've all been like sort of grafted to their arms. There's other ones that have got chainsaws in their arms and stuff like that, and each one's more difficult.
Those fat ones are the worst.
The fat ones. There's ones that are just fat, and if you shoot them enough times in the stomach, they'll just explode and their goo gets everywhere and stuff like that. But it's a really, really good game. I've played it so much. So I've sunk so many hours into it, and as a first-person shooter, it's co-op as well, so it's really good fun.
It's LAN party material.
It is LAN party material. My cousin comes around sometimes and we play it together, so it's good fun.
Awesome. So considering right at the start of this, when we said yes, zombies are saturated, every single one of us has said a different zombie thing that we like. So actually, maybe they're not. Maybe we just bring for more zombie thing.
No.
I still think it's massively overdone.
That game that you like playing, I've never played it, but I think it, possibly like the genre's sort of like breaking through for like the sort of more the fear factor scare sort of thing. Like, did you play the PT demo, the Silent Hill demo? That was I pooped my pants. That was scary. That and like you got like Outlast and like Slender Man and all these like sort of like, you know, you haven't got any items and you've got to try and make your way through these buildings and stuff like this. The games that put like that fear element into it rather than I've got to run away and kill all these zombies or do what I've got to do. I think that's sort of making a breakthrough now. I think zombies have kind of been exhausted. I think we've said like everything's been done with zombies. There's not a lot that you can do with them now. I think maybe that's going to start making a breakthrough now.
I think it's due to indie developers really, especially on the game front, in that they are pushing the boundaries because there is so many zombie games out there, so many zombie films. People are going, how can we do this different and how can we do it well? Which is what I think Project Zomboid does, and it does what no other game does.
Project Zomboid.
He's hanging on the beat. It's like
Leave it on like Project Zomboid.
Like that in your movie voice.
Coming soon to a cinema near you. I'm making that my text tone. Project Zomboid. But no, it's a brilliant game, and it's the survival element. You have to sleep, you have to eat, you have to drink. Like you can equip like carrier bags and stuff like that to put your equipment in. So you're running around with a backpack, guys. You've got a carrier bag filled with food and a baseball bat beating on top of it. It's a fantastic experience.
Okay. Topic number 2 then.